I'm hearing that Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko may have an announcement real soon for a fight in November. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we get this mega fight, because I really do prefer it over the Shakur Stevenson and Tank fight. Don't get me wrong, I still think we gotta see Shakur and Tank, but from a selfish fan perspective, I know that we probably get a more exciting outcome from Lomachenko and Tank. And when I say an exciting outcome, I say we're gonna see Lomachenko potentially get stopped for the first time in his career, and potentially for his last fight, which would be a little bit bittersweet, because obviously we want to see a big fight happen between Lomachenko and Tank, but it would kind of infer that Lomachenko gets stopped in potentially the last fight of his career, sending him into retirement. But hey, like, we got to get big fights in the sport of boxing. I think if Lomachenko's willing to take that risk, I think against a guy like Tank, Lomachenko would get paid very well. So why not take that big fight and entertain the fans? And honestly, it's not out of this world that Lomachenko pulls it off. I mean, it would be pretty crazy for me at this point in Lomachenko's career to knock off probably the biggest top guy at 35 in Tank Davis, but alongside Shakur Stevenson as well. But I think Tank is so much more impressive of a win just because of how dangerous he is offensively. I think against Shakur Stevenson, it's obviously going to be a tough night for any fighter to deal with Shakur, but I think there's a sense of danger that comes along with facing Tank, a big and major sense of danger facing Tank. So that's why I would always say that beating Tank is more impressive to me than beating Shakur. And you know, obviously there's very difficult routes both ways. You know, it's not easy to do one or the other, damn near impossible for the average person, but you know, these guys are special. These guys are special, and that's why we want to see them face each other. I think that's why we want to see Lomachenko in there in the mix, so it's not only two fighters. But honestly, it's Shakur and Tank that are the guys in their primes, and they're kind of that next generation. We're waiting for that passing of the torch fight between potentially Lomachenko and Tank, or maybe Lomachenko and Shakur. But I just think that now that Shakur is a free agent, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to make a big fight happen for him, at least, you know, in the real near future. I think against Lomachenko, he probably beats Lomachenko. He should beat Lomachenko, but it's all about, you know, the negotiations. I think that's the main concern I have. I think anytime an actual fighter leaves Top Rank, they become quite inactive, and it becomes much more difficult for them to honestly find a solid fight where they're happy with their pay, and they end up just taking a stay busy fight against a nobody. And that was my main concern for Shakur Stevenson. I think that I've said it in another video, but when you leave Top Rank, the ones that have done it successfully are already superstars. You take guys like Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Bud Crawford. All of these guys left Top Rank and went on to be superstars. But the thing about Top Rank is they can guarantee that you're going to have a fight. They can guarantee a date, and they can guarantee the amount of money that you're going to get paid. When you leave and become a free agent, everything's up in the air unless you have a plan. And if Shakur Stevenson has a plan behind the scenes, that's the best case scenario for him right now as a free agent, to actually know what he's going to do. Because you can't just end up meeting with every promoter and saying, this doesn't work. Maybe we'll schedule a meeting with so-and-so next week. Maybe we'll schedule a meeting with Oscar De La Hoya because other things aren't working out with Floyd Mayweather and Eddie Hearn and stuff like that. Like that stuff could very well happen, and that's the difficult position you put yourself in, alongside the fact that a lot of people don't find Shakur Stevenson entertaining. That's just the bottom line. I think we can all appreciate the talent that he has in the ring, but if we're putting it just straight up, Shakur isn't as exciting as Tank, at least in his past performances. And everybody's saying that Shakur Stevenson, you guys are hating on Shakur Stevenson and being critical. And I feel like I'm just being honest by saying that, you know, he's good, he's great, but we have to see him against the best opposition. And I don't think it's hating to say that he's not the most exciting fighter in the world. And you know, people are going to argue and say, well, you're only saying that because Tank's there and you guys want him to fight Tank, and Tank's a knockout artist, and that's the only reason you guys don't find Shakur entertaining. No, that's not it either. That's not it either, because no matter what, if you're exciting to a certain extent and getting exciting performances, people are going to come to watch you regardless. With Shakur Stevenson, why would people in the actual arena that are there already not watch the entire fight? to go beat traffic. That was more of a priority than seeing Shakur Stevenson finish his fight. So I feel like, you know, as a boxing fan, as someone who likes to analyze the sport a lot, the reality of the situation is Shakur is good. He might be able to beat Tank, but it's no question that he's not as exciting. He's not as much of a draw. When both guys have skills and they're at the negotiation table, who has the upper hand? Who's the A side? How do you decide when both guys are skilled? It's who's putting butts in seats, who's selling the pay-per-view. Shakur, one that has never fought on pay-per-view, and then you have a guy like Tank who's consistently fought on pay-per-view. So that's the difference here, you know, and that's why I think that as much as Shakur Stevenson and Tank needs to happen, realistically, how is it supposed to happen at this point in their careers, where Shakur probably thinks that he's bringing more to the table than he was, you know, 2-3 years ago? He's gonna have a different mindset now, and especially if he joins Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions, they're not gonna just let Tank have his way, that's for sure. But it would be interesting to see a guy that used to be advising Floyd Mayweather was advising Gervonta Davis, and now, you know, if he recruits Shakur to Mayweather Promotions and then that matchup takes place, that would be a crazy narrative. That'd be interesting to see. But obviously, you know, it all starts with Shakur Stevenson actually finding the right home for his boxing career. You know, he doesn't know where he's going to be fighting next, and that at this point in his career can be very detrimental to the long-term future, because you don't know the layout. At least with Top Rank, you were getting used to it. You kind of got comfortable. Now you have to go out and see, you know, what else is out there for you. And I understand that that's part of his growth, that's part of his journey, but it's difficult. You know, it's going to be hard. You might not be active for a while. There's a chance that we don't see you fight this rest of the year or next year. That's just the reality of it. People don't understand how difficult it can be to trust a promoter and ensure that they're going to have fights for you lined up, that they're going to have this amount of money, X amount of money. With Top Rank, it was guaranteed. You know, he was the star at Top Rank alongside Teofimo Lopez, but you know, now he's kind of he did decline the $15 million deal that he was going to get for 5 fights, $3 million a pop, and it sounds good to me with Shakur's style that, you know, generally, I like watching Shakur, but generally the fans don't like watching him, and that's just the overall, you know, census. The population is saying that they don't enjoy watching him fight. That's just the general public. That's their perspective. But at Top Rank, he was getting guaranteed money, so that means no matter how boring he is, he's still getting this much money. You know, so there's a risk in leaving Top Rank, because there's a good chance that a lot of these promoters that he's going into or plans on meeting with, whether or not it's Floyd Mayweather, Eddie Hearn, they may not pay him that money that he wants. He might get less than $15 million, and $15 million's like a guarantee. So like, he could have easily made more money, but you know, he just wants to explore other things. Maybe he wants that Tank fight so badly, he wants to go with Al. Who knows? Who knows what Shakur Stevenson's going to do next? But I would love to see Shakur in the mix with the big names. I think just now the fact that he's a free agent is going to put a lot of things on hold, especially if, you know, he can't find that home right away. If he can't, you know, go with Mayweather Promotions right away, and then they get a date, they're very organized. They lost Leonard Ellerbe, so maybe that plays an impact. Technical difficulties, I apologize, but yeah, I just want to close the video with you guys by saying I think Lomachenko and Tank is a great fight. I think Lomachenko, Shakur, all these top 3 guys need to get in the mix and make these big fights happen. But you know, you guys know I like all these fighters. I don't have any, you know, disrespect towards anybody. I just know that, you know, I know the sport of boxing, and I know the business, more importantly, and I know how difficult it can be for fighters to sign the contracts and find a deal that is in their best interest for their own well-being, the well-being of their families, this and that. So I know how difficult it can be. I know a lot of fighters that, you know, they didn't get the contracts they wanted. They were supposed to have bright futures, and now they're not where they could have been. And that's an unfortunate reality of the sport of boxing. I just think Shakur is great. You know, that's not going to happen to him because he's such a name already. You know, he's not the most entertaining fighter in the world to a lot of people, but the truth is that Shakur can fight. You know, Shakur, no matter what people say, he's a great boxer, and more importantly, he can fight. So that's everything you need to make a superstar. You know, no matter what people say, if they think you're boring, that's that. But if you put him in there with Tank Davis, everybody's going to want to see it. It's all a matter of, you know, getting the numbers right and, you know, picking a promoter that's gonna make sure that you're getting paid what you deserve. And I think that's what Shakur Stevenson is looking for. The big fights, fighting the big names, and at the same time making good money. But hopefully that goes down. But yeah, I'm hearing about Lomachenko and Tank, so that's a big fight. I can't pick Lomachenko right now at this point in his career, but still a tremendous fight for the boxing fans. But I gotta go with Tank by stoppage in that one. But it'll be a good fight. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.